They were looking for shelter, but came across a horde of zombie nuns.
Zombie Mother of God. I'm sorry, sister.
Hello everyone, Kinejek is in touch and this is a short retelling of the 6th, 7th and 8th episodes of the 4th season of the zombie series Nation Z. I do not know what the writers of this series are sitting on, but the plot twists just tear the tower. You will be shocked by these episodes. Fans of the genre of video will definitely roll in. Therefore, if you are on this channel for the first time, then follow the links in the description and watch the series from the very beginning. And as soon as this video gets thousands of likes, I'm releasing the next part. Enjoy watching. Now that they have new wheels, Roberta drives like an obsessive. And maybe it is. The team is located near the city of Erie, Indiana, and when Murphy gets out of control, practically dies and turns into a zombie in the back seat, they all stay in a science center called Fighting Mod. Worried that he might turn, the gang takes Murphy inside and examines his zombie bite. He doesn't look very good. While Doc and Tenka are thinking that they might have to bring Murphy in, Lucy comes up with an idea to save her father. She's going to bite him. This turns out to be a mistake. Although it saves Murphy, biting people to make them better seems to be what makes Lucy age so fast. When they realize that this is the case, they also realize that Robert is no more. Roberta went to explore the laboratory. And she found a pretty crazy place. Zombie parts in petri dishes are some kind of notebooks about transplanting people. Roberta stumbles upon a locked closet. Not knowing how she knows this, she enters the necessary code and finds a canister of gas. It turns out that everything will come in handy, since she knows how to dismantle it. But this nasty laboratory place is getting worse and worse. When 10K and the sergeants go in search of Roberta, they wonder if she brought them there on purpose. After all, she's leading them somewhere they can't understand. Finally, when they've been gone too long, Doc goes after them. Things are going very badly for Doc. He's always liked fingers, but this time the zombie's finger jumps up and hits him right in the stomach. 10K and the sergeant jump up and cut him out. It's disgusting and crazy. While Doc, 10K and the sergeant are moving through the facility, they come across Franken zombies. The three of them try to fight Franken the zombie, but to no avail. In the end, they are rescued by Roberta, who stays at the scene in search of Dr. Edgar Caligari. It turns out that he tried to inoculate himself with a zombie working arm, but was engulfed by zombie cells and became a Franken zombie. He confirms that they are on the right path. He does not know how, but he knows that Roberta is leading them wisely. He asks them to finish him off, and they do. Meanwhile, Murphy wakes up feeling much better and realizes what happened. Lucy bit him several times to save his life, and it made her much older. Roberta and the team return to Murphy's just in time to see Lucy die. After Lucy's death, the team is in a gloomy mood. There is tension in their ranks because they realize that they are still following Roberta's blind guesses. When they find themselves outside of Detroit, Michigan, at the mysterious Hill Carnival, this is one of the first times when everyone doubts the correctness of Robert's judgments. Although she tells them not to interfere, they decide to rescue a woman who reveals that she was tied up by the inhabitants of the carnival, namely Zagalas, the Zagalas of the zombie era. Despite the fact that Roberta says they should just move on, Murphy decides to do something about the insane killers from the carnival funhouse, who love clown poses, and goes to investigate. Roberta knows that they will be drawn into all this nonsense and, of course, as soon as they get inside, they are drawn into terrifying circus games. Meanwhile, Roberta continues to see her visions. Every time someone is killed, she sees it in that terrible hell with a black rainbow. Murphy is connected to a high-voltage apparatus. 10K is on a rotating board, on which knives are thrown, and Doc is placed in a face hole when billiard balls are thrown in his face. Roberta plays with the King of Zoogle in a game called Drink for Your Life, where she has to answer questions about the Insane Clan Pace group. Roberta discovers that she knows a lot of AI Insane Clan Pace, and the King of Tsugala shows a new interest in her. They participate in a rap battle.
Are my buns beckoning to you? Take your shit rhymes.
And because she is good at it, she becomes his bride. Not because she wants it, but because he said so. She's going to be their Zugel queen. Zugel's wedding includes bloody rites and the traditional bride section. But all this is interrupted by Sergeant Lily in the former queen of Zugel, Janice. She decides that she likes Robert as a son, but the Zugel gang gets involved in a family feud about who will run the clan. They pull out the zombie patriarch and then have a fight over it. In the confusion, Murphy manages to connect the execution machine to the king and his mother and have an explanatory conversation with them about raising children. And a few electric shocks. When things go too far and most of the group turns into Jaeger zombies, the team quickly decides to leave. Roberta admits that she doesn't know what they're doing, and that since her hallucinations still don't make any sense to her, the team should just go to America. Far to the north, where Citizen Z was broadcasting day and night, Kai repairs the Northern Light station when he realizes that the Zone forces are approaching them. She takes Nana and her baby Jay-Z to a panic room where they can hide and desperately tries to contact help. But, alas, her screams go unheeded. Meanwhile, a team of fearless heroes of Operation Betty Mark makes their way to a church near the Canadian border. It seems like a safe place to hide, but it turns out that getting out of there is surprisingly difficult. Murphy, Doc, Tenka and Sergeant Lily are fighting a group of zombie nuns hiding on top of a church balcony. And this is just the beginning of their troubles. There is also a zombie hockey team, zombie characters from KTV and a bunch of other evil spirits that they will have to worry about. When Roberta declares that their new course can take them even further into the hellish world that is her fiery nightmares, Murphy teams up with her. And they find themselves together on a magnificent field, but it doesn't last long. Soon Murphy begins to see the fire and ashes she is talking about, and when it breaks out, he begins to believe her. What she's going through is excruciating, and Murphy feels guilty for not taking her as seriously as he could. While the gang continues to search for a way out of the church, they come across a man ringing the bell on the tower. They expose him and meet Luis, who seems to be collecting artifacts, although they think he is a grave robber. After some questioning, they find out that he is looking for a relic, the finger bone of Saint Teresa, which is said to be buried in this church. Rumor has it that this bone heals the sick, and Louis collects a lot of artifacts, led here with us and visions. The more he talks about it, the more his faith inspires Roberta that her vision really means something. Louis, it turns out, gets close to almost everyone. He helps Murphy deal with his feelings about Lucy's death, and then they open the crypt. Since the zombie hockey player fell into the crypt with them, the zombie disease infects the priest inside the crypt, and he comes to life. There is a terrible fight, and after the zombie priest dies, Louis takes his artifact. But this is not what is needed. This is not what he was looking for. Worse, now the team is stuck in the catacombs. They know it will take a miracle to get them out, when suddenly the bells start ringing again. The zombies are starting to leave. When the team goes up to the church, they find a little girl, similar to Lucy, who is holding the relic that Louis was looking for. When Louis offers them something for their help, the team finds a battery that can start the radio used to communicate with the Northern Light station. They get a signal from Kai, but she doesn't hear them. They can only hear her. And so they return to the USA in search of a transmitter that is no longer intended for America.